Hello and welcome to Let's Make a Game. Hi, I'm Mike Deasing, or Dr. Mike Deasing, and I decided I like making games. And I remember back in the day there was the 24-hour comics challenge where you make a whole comic in 24 hours. And I was thinking of something similar to games, that it would be fun to do 24-hour games. I don't know if that's a thing or not. I could do a Google search, but maybe later. Anyway, I decided that I would like to make some mini games. I like mini games. I like small games. And then I was like, well, why don't I do a channel where I make games and tell you about it? Because I actually did this with a student yesterday. We had some time, and so we were talking a little game design theory and philosophy, and I started to talk him through things, and I realized it was a lot of fun to just talk about game design with somebody. And so I want to talk with you about game design. So let's make a game. And the game, I'm a little into this, although I'm going to take you through the process to make this as authentic as possible. So I haven't thought ahead too much on this one. So I'm going to do this live with you. Let's make it together. So let's make a game. And this is going to be a fan creation for a world based on Lords, Rings, and Hob like folk. There we go. Lord of the Rings and Hob-like Folk. That's my game. Um, and so right away, I'm like, well, I've written fantasy games before. Let's just use the D20 engine. Hey, except I've already sort of mined that as well as I can. And I really did have this world in the back of my mind as I was developing my last D20 system, Tales of the Splinter Realm. But ultimately, the magic system in that hews more closely to original BX rules. And in play, it doesn't really feel like that world. Um, and that's okay. It didn't end up being an emulation of that world. But what if I wanted to actually emulate that world? Well, I don't want to do D20. I want to do something else. And so the first question I always ask in game design is, how crunchy? And this is so. The answer is for me always not very. I'm not a big crunch person, but I feel like a lot of people are big crunch people. And so as I was thinking about this one, I realized you can create the sense of crunch with minimal actual crunch. Okay, that's the goal. So one of the first things I do is set a design goal in terms of level of complexity of the overall game, because you want to have that in mind as you start. So um, a few simple mechanics, fiddly bits, easy to remember. Cool. So that's my second. So we're setting some design goals here. Design goals. Number one, set to crunch with minimal actual crunch. Number two, a few simple mechanics, fiddly bits, easy to remember. Three, emulate the source material. Duh. And four is I usually start with a page count. I usually start with a word count. I know how big I want this thing to be. And so as I think about how big this thing needs to be, well, it doesn't need a lot of the stuff that I normally would put into a game. I don't need any background. I don't need any world history stuff. I don't need any of the lore. I don't even need to necessarily explain how interactions work between species or classes or any of those things. Those are hard baked into the source material for me. So I really just need to work out the mechanical side of it. Um, if I can create a simple template that logically layers over the existing material, and people are like, "Oh, this is yeah, I can play in this world. Here's how to frame it in." Then it's all a win. So I think, can I do this? And now the question becomes, can I do this in 16 pages? It's kind of like name that tune. And so, oh, I'm getting a little pop up. My recording will end in 23 seconds. All right. So I guess this is session one, design goals. So my last design goal will be get it into 4 pages. There we go. So step one of let's make a game for my Lords, Rings, and Hob-like Folk is I've set some design goals. And there I am. We'll start there next time.